Hello and welcome back to Crit and Crit. I'm Sint,
I'm Axion.
and we are continuing our discussion of Brian Jake's Redwall while we play through Undertale. Hey, Axion,
Yes.
why are so many fantasy protagonists orphans?
Okay, this is a... There is an actual answer to this. So
you're saying that the answer is apparent? Hey.
why?
Because it was an obvious setup?
So to actually answer the question... Oh, look, legendary artifact. We just did the discussion last episode. I got a dog.
Puppy. Aww. I love the little dog sprites in Undertale. They're just so cute.
Anyway, so there are a lot of reasons why characters are made orphans or otherwise disconnected from any sort of familial connections in fantasy stories under common circumstances. And a big part of that is if a character's heritage is known, and that heritage is not already distinctly connected to something important to the story, then if you want their heritage to be important to the story, you have to build it in either implied or outright stated or otherwise included in the narrative. And one of the best examples for this, in my opinion, off the top of my head, is Jim Butcher's Codex Lyra series, where the main character is supposedly a nobody from some backwater village who has no real connection to the ongoing storyline until we discover things about them that are not revealed until later on in the story. But with a character that's an orphan, you can build their relationship into the story by just implying or outright stating that their deceased or missing family is whatever important people you need them to be. You don't need to have that connection spelled out implicitly in the story until it's needed. So we have, for example, in this story, Matthias, he's an adopted foundling by the Abbey who has a remarkable resemblance to Martin. And at that point, you can make any explanation you want of that. It could just be coincidence. It could be some kind of destiny. He could be actively descended from Martin.
which we know he's not.
I was actually meaning to ask that because it's been a while since I read Martin.
Martin never had kids. Like, we'll get to Martin the Warrior at some point, most likely, but Martin does not have any descendants that we're aware of.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember because it's been forever since I read Martin and Mossflower. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. There we go. So, we have no real explanation for why Matthias is the way he is. It's basically just destiny without explanation at this point.
Oh no! Yeah, it's just one of those really common things to note. Having parents around often gets in the way of the hero's journey, or parental figures as the case may be, which is why we had to conveniently toast Luke's farm back in New Hope.
Yeah. That was something I was also going to point out, but you beat me to it, is not having immediate family means that your main character is not anchored to the location as strongly or to any particular people.
Though, ironically, it does anchor him more strongly because he has nowhere else to go, and he wants to defend Redwall as his home.
Yep. But
so, yeah. In other stories, there's more of an impetus to go out and see the world without necessarily the expectation of returning home. Hello. I don't know why I love that sprite so much.
Angry dummy.
But yeah, like, Matthias being an orphan is not really central to anything, because he's not descended from anyone important. He just happens to bear a remarkable resemblance to Martin, which could possibly mark him as a reincarnation. We don't know if that exists within the world of Redwall, but, you know, we may as well go for it. What I like better, like stories where it's very clear that yes, you are an orphan who does not know your past, and you actually do not have an important past, or you are an orphan and you do not know your past, and it turns out you are secretly the king of the world. Because, like, I've seen both stories do that decently well. I've also seen both stories do that awful, terribly. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't think I can add a whole lot to what you've already said.
I just meant like of stories that do the you're descended from something important versus the stories where you're not. Because I have a couple examples in mind, but I wasn't gonna unless you had some.
Of good examples?
Yes.
I mean, we mentioned Star Wars.
For which?
I'd say it's a good one. I'd say that...
Of which?
Okay, now I'm confused, because I thought we were talking about good examples of the orphan story.
Okay, good examples of the orphan comes from nowhere, or the orphan comes from somewhere important. So Star Wars is good.
Star Wars is good as the orphan comes from somewhere important. Okay, that's why I was confused. I wasn't sure what the difference we were discussing was.
Yeah, like, for example, I was thinking of a story where they did a really good job of you are important, but you don't come from anywhere important. Chronicles of Ridane.
Which I've never read.
Ah. We need to add that to the list. You've got to read The Black Cauldron.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the Disney movie, which I've told is not representative of the books in both quality and content, so...
It's the darkest Disney animated movie, but they very much Disney-fied the story, which should probably tell you that it shouldn't really have, been a thing. And it almost bankrupted Disney, so, there's that.
Yep, all hail. But yeah, I have not read Prydain, so I can't comment on it. But yeah, to get back to the mention I made earlier of Codex Alera, that one is a good example of the protagonist coming from somewhere important as well, where the character starts the story with the impression that they are not anyone of any importance, but then it later becomes revealed that they have a very strong connection to the stuff that's going on in the setting, and... Ow, 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 ow.
Codex Alera is great.
Yep, and we will be doing review of Codex Alera in the future.
That's always a concerning thing to say. I've got knives!
Not anymore, you don't.
You had knifed, my dude. Plurals matter.
But yeah, we can probably pull options out of our pockets everywhere we want to go. For both sides, there's no shortage of stories where the main character's connection to any family or any contact is fairly minimal, and those are just as common as characters that have a strong connection behind the secret of their orphanages, or orphan status, rather, not orphanage. As there are stories where that goes absolutely nowhere and the character is not really important in any way. And I know there's at least one that I've recently read that I cannot recall right now that plays with the whole idea of the character is secretly someone important, and then it's revealed, no, you were never like the inheritor of anything. You were just the person who happened to be in the right place at the right time. And I cannot for the life of me remember what story it is I'm trying to think of.
Like, the one that comes to mind for me of "you're no one special, but you're what I've got" is Shazam. But I don't think it's the one you have in mind.
No, because I haven't seen Shazam.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get that. It was good.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, but yeah. I have not had the opportunity to see it myself.
Yeah, like, and while we were off Star Wars, because I did want to make another comparison that you'd actually mentioned when we were discussing what to talk about, which is that Matthias becomes very competent with the sword with very, very little training in a very short amount of time. Just like Luke. No one ever really comments on that, but they complain about Rey. Who cares? I don't even like Star Wars that much.
But yeah, Matthias goes from being this very clumsy, very, like, in the first few scenes he's in, he's always dropping things. He's always, he's tripping over his own shoes. He's getting caught up in his own robes.
A lovable bumbler.
Yeah. But basically overnight, from the point that he and Methuselah discovered the inscription, he's suddenly extremely capable. He's able to climb up up into the loft through areas that previously only flying creatures and a squirrel, who is lauded for her capability as being the best climber bar none, have been able to reach. And he's able to do this basically with zero training. There's almost no mention of Matthias getting any kind of special training or combat education or anything. And suddenly he's capable of making that journey with a hostile captive in tow, until he and Warbeak come to a sort of truce and understanding partway through the journey.
A threatening-induced truce, let's just put it that way. Which actually, more than anything, reminds me of a fish called Wanda.
Oh dear.
You remember when Kevin Kline's dangling John Cleese out of the window by his ankles? And making him calmly apologize for calling him stupid? Yeah, it reminds me of that. Just hear us pull Warbeak back up.
I mean, it's not really that different at all. He puts her over the edge deliberately to get her to behave the way he wants, and then relies on that capacity for being a threat to her to keep her cooperative for a time until they get where they're going. And then the tables turn and he has it used against him in a similar manner. So, as we mentioned in a prior episode, he learns his lesson a little bit. Oh no.
Hi, Temmie.
This is actually remarkably tricky. But yeah, Timmy made me lose my train of thought.
Hi.
Wow, 0 gold for that? Okay. Right, what was I saying?
I don't know, man. I lost track.
It's our day. Ow.
That's a mood. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess the being orphaned means you have such an open canvas for your backstory that the story can go almost anywhere. And there is kind of a bit of symbolism with it, with the whole of I have no special ties, and something special can come from an otherwise unremarkable source.
Yeah,
It's
precisely.
not a bad message. So, I don't know. We've kind of rambled and lost our train of thought enough that I think we've probably done our course on this one.
Yeah.
Unless you got something else you want to add.
Not really, no.
Alright. That concludes our discussion of Redwall. We'll probably return to the series at some point, but we have such a lengthy list of things we want to look into that I don't know when that's gonna be, so we'll see you next time as we get back to Harry Potter. After, I guess, you finish this fight.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that the little guy's quoting Macbeth.
Yeah, I got up.
Out darn spot.
Alright. We will see you all next time as we return once more to Harry Potter and finally wrap that nonsense up. See y'all then.